And look at Jochen Hahn and Antonio Albacete. The two of them go flying through the right-hand side, then the left-hand side. Jochen Hahn around the outside, and Lucas Hahn, no father and son, come together on the exit of turn one.
And the best thing about this is the fact that it's still a 15-minute sprint race. They've not extended the time of the race. It's still just like, it's going to be, what, 7 laps as far as I can know?
Yeah. of motorsport. Cranston and Snetterton side by side for the title in the very final race of the season. As they go back up the hill towards the Schumacher. Nils Core clips the back at 10. Simon Povey clips the side of Nils Core. They go over the hill and Povey's around. Oh my god, that's going to definitely be the thumbnail when it hit me in the right direction. Thank you so much.
23 cars.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Finish. I think Dennis Melchett has done enough to win the last round of the championship and to win the title all in one fell swoop.
It's a very boring car championship. Things are never chilled here. Honestly, the cars may be a bit dull, but wow, the racing certainly isn't.
Fastest lap of the race now, Ben Lambert.
Look at Andy Potts coming through the middle. He makes a little bit of contact. Dave Waldock is around and he's off on the grass.
Brayfield tries to go right round the outside at Druids. You do not do that and get away with it very often.
Takes the win in round 12. There's contact again. Fraser Smith and Dennis Melchett are off the circuit. Hello everybody, welcome to Chaz Draycott Media and welcome to the British Boring Car Championship. We are here for Season 4 and we, after the first week break of the season, return for rounds 7 and 8 here from Snetterton on the 300 layout. It's one of the flattest circuits in the UK, but it is definitely one of the most entertaining and one of the best for racing. Chaz Draycott in the commentary box here with my wonderful friend Ed May alongside me. Ed, it feels like forever actually after having that week off, doesn't it, mate? Well, it does just genuinely feel like forever since we've been in the booth.
Yes, it does. We're going to be dusting off the cobwebs here with some brilliant boring car action. And here at Snetterton, it's a circuit that's near and dear to me, being Norfolk born and bred and raised. There's not really a whole lot else to do other than, you know, take a trip down to Snetterton just outside Norwich and watch some club motorsport, go to the touring cars. It's been a big part of my life and I'm great to see it on our screens, at least virtually, here tonight for what will be round 7 and 8 of, well, a very exciting season of boring car action.
And this is how the championship lines up at the moment. Jake Cranstone leading the way by just 4 points from Morgan Burkhardt, who gave him a good run for his money at Brands Hatch last time out. Sam van Alst is currently third with JB Mercedes just 1 point behind. 2 points behind him, John Bailiff. 1 point behind him, Taylor Adams. Ridiculously close with an individual drop score coming in this season. There's also the Teams Championship as well, let's not forget. Nodaphone top of that by just 5 points from Mike Just Fit at the moment. Team Jane Fonda in third, and it really is those three teams that are the best of the bunch, because Ericsson hit us with just Patrick Dopart and Dodgy MOT, Red Ring and Bordeaux not quite able to do enough. The Independence is really proving to be quite close as well, isn't it, Ed? With just a couple of points between those guys there. I mean, 3 between the top 3, and with no appearance from Morgan Burkhardt tonight, it should get even more and more exciting.
Yeah, Morgan Burkhardt got a pretty good reason, to be fair, doesn't he, Chaz? We won't obviously be too upset with him for choosing his real race pursuits over the boring cars. Wishing all the best to Morgan for this upcoming weekend, but it's going to be very exciting to see what the rest of them will do. Already top of the pile, Patrick Dopart, based on at least the practice results, as
John Bailiff.
trying to dodge the bailiffs by the looks of things, hiding around the corner there.
Yeah, indeed. There was an interesting moment there, actually, on the overlay. One of the updates to the SDK live timing that we use here on our iRacing broadcasts is that they now show black and orange flags next to the cars when they are given a meatball flag for damage. So we'll be able to see when they are told to come in as a result of any contact that they've had. Here come the drivers then, making their way out of the pit lane now. These fantastic VW Jettas rattling back onto your screens once again, everybody. And I will apologise at this point if there are any slight changes to our usual broadcasting, or if anything looks a little bit different and not for the better this time round. This is my first broadcast on my brand new PC that I'm oh so excited about. But I've noticed a few stutters here and there within OBS itself. When we look at iRacing, it is smooth as silk wherever I look. But in the actual broadcasting software itself, there's a few stutters that I still need to iron out. But it's great to be back for Boring Cars, and obviously it's rather fitting that it is the first broadcast that I have on my new PC as well. A huge upgrade on what I had before, and super excited to see these drivers get back out. Not a very big grid tonight though, unfortunately, Ed, with just the 13 cars, but we have a few people unable to make it for different reasons.
Yes, of course, the drivers that we do have obviously will be more than ready to put on a show for us. You see them all lining up together, trying to make the most of the slipstream, which is ever so powerful in these little Volkswagen and Jettas. They don't have the most grunt behind them, so any help they can get down the straights will be crucial for the lap time around here. So you've got two great opportunities for the slipstream. You've got here the Bentley straight, and then at the sort of start of the you've got the sort of Senna straight in towards turn 1. Now though, John Bailiff just trying to pick his moment, because he's not going full chat. He wants to have cars up in front of him, because he knows how to play the game, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Just wanted to stay on board and just see the mind games of what these guys go through, you know, towards the end of a lap around here, and see what they're messing about with. But it does look like they are all trying to find their own little bit of space, but also try to benefit from the slipstream where possible. Hello to JMA Phillips, by the way, in the chat. It's always good to have him along. He's a big supporter of the British Boring Car Championship, and it seems Jack Wells as well. I'm just watching the feedback actually and seeing if we're getting the same stutters that I'm actually seeing on my screen now, and it doesn't seem like that's the case. So I wonder if it's just OBS being a bit of a knob, to be honest, because it doesn't look like it's that bad at all, to be fair. So I don't know. It is what it is. I'm not going to go on about it all night. Still, our championship leader, Jake Cranstone, he's out on circuit in the Might Just Fit machine, car number 2, with his teammate Duncan Murray. Jake hoping to extend his championship lead tonight with the fact that Morgan Burkhardt is not here, so he's got key opportunity to get out in front and make the most of it, hasn't he?
Yes, he does, and we'll see if that will be the case here tonight. We know Cranstone, he doesn't need many opportunities to benefit from others' misfortune. Love this section of the lap coming up to really tight left-hander Agostini area, where you see so many moves being made, because obviously that left-hander at Palmer's is so easy to get wrong. You've got that sort of quite deceptively long straight to, well, try and defend. Hamilton as well, much flat out, crank the lock on, and then you've got really tricky corner Rockies. It's almost a little bit off camera when you're trying to turn in, then it goes down, then dips back up again. Williams as well is a little bit of a funny corner. No real camber to speak of. Anything that goes off camera as you go onto the exit, because of just the way the circuit was from the 200 layout, which was basically skipping out that entire middle sector that we've just been through. It used to be you go in towards, well, that little hairpin and go straight onto the Bentley straight. And they changed it. When did they I can't remember when they implemented that now.
I think it was
2008.
2000 and it was early 2000s. I think, like maybe 2000.
I want to say 8, but
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right, actually, because I'm trying to remember what year, because I remember Shedden in his Honda Civic, and that was 2010, actually, running wide through there and hitting a tyre stack thing on purpose. Oh, I can't remember. It's hurting my brain.
Quick bit of research and journalism and Googling.
Go on, what have we got?
Let's have a look. So that's a race track. Usually my go-to is... Where is it? Why can't I find it? Where's my go-to... I have a go-to circuit map website, which is always wonderful.
Racingcircuits.info.
There we go. Well, it would have been from 1991 to 2010. So it was actually 2011 when they brought in the middle sector, when I think that was Snetterton was acquired, or just shortly after it was acquired by sort of Jonathan Parr and the Motorsport Vision Group.
Fair play. So, not too long ago, actually, if anything. It's quite scary, really, to think about it like that.
Yeah, it is. It's wonderful little circuit. Obviously, it's got now the virtual, almost preserved scary tree that they have going in towards the Montreal hairpin. That big tree that looks like a sort of creature with its arms raised above its head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunately not here anymore. It was knocked down. I think it was Storm Doris or something, some stupid name of a storm that we have here in the UK that just ended up knocking it down. So it's unfortunately not there in the real world, but it's been preserved here on iRacing. Enough about the circuit. We actually do have qualifying to talk through. We haven't really mentioned too much about Jake Cranstone's time being good enough for pole position, nearly, well, in fact, just over a quarter of a second faster than anyone else this season, which would be the biggest margin of pole position I think we've seen so far this season. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chaz, but he's looking very comfortable out there at this moment in time. Sam Van Alst, second place, needs a little bit more if he's to try and usurp him.
Yeah, it looks good.
Third place, that would be some strong points for him, actually, Farron Grout. After, I think what he would, I think, admit was quite a disappointing outing last time out at Brands Hatch. He's certainly looking to bounce back pretty strongly.
Absolutely. And someone who's hoping to get his campaign off to a good start is this man, Togo Hisada, the Japanese driver making his debut here this evening. Good to see Togo on the circuit with us. He apologised for not being around for the first few rounds, but he knew ahead of time that he wasn't going to be able to make it, so he let me know, and now we're all golden, and it's great to see him out on the circuit, currently in 10th position, 4th out of the privateers that are running the Mediocre Cup for Independence, but the Japanese driver hoping to make the most of the British Boring Car Championship. Stephen Burns is just off the road trying to stay out of everyone's way. He's just had a little moment, I believe, and has decided to give up on that lap. Patrick Dopart is second at the moment, and he's not having a great season, is he, Ed? He's had a great amount of pace, but not a season to remember, to say the least. You know, he has a really strong race and then a really poor race. It's like one goes one way and then one goes the other.
Yeah, it's never been easy, but I think that's the thing that we can say about a lot of other drivers, the likes of Jake Cranstone, is that they can do it race in, race out. They have that consistency, and almost, I think, the sense to avoid the accidents, to predict them before they happen and to not get caught up. And I think that's something that is very difficult to teach. It's something that you can only really learn over, well, many years of trial and error on the sim and in these racing scenarios. But we'll hope to see a little bit more consistency coming through. Give a great little fight up in front for the championship, of course. 6 minutes remain in this session, and well, pretty much I think if we look at the track map, all of the cars are just in, well, this part of the circuit, aren't they, Jazz?
Except for 2. Yeah, Ferran Grau in 4th position, and I believe Togo Hisada is there with him on the circuit. Yes, it is. It is 2 of the Mediocre Cup for Independence drivers. Jake Cranstow decides that he's going to come into the pits, doesn't want to give the slipstream to everyone else. Sam Van Alst is in the thick of this as well. Kyle Ridley, Stephen Burns has just come in the pits. Kyle Ridley is just there, just behind the Van Alst machine. He's actually just gone second fastest as well as Kyle Ridley. Bailiff improves, Clark and Murray. but no improvements major enough to put them right up near the front here. Cranstone on a very, very solid lap a few laps ago has put himself to the top of the times. And at the moment, Ferran Grau is actually the highest placed independent at the moment. Manintveld next up, JB Masida. JB is up there in the championship as well after benefiting from the reverse grid. He's now the slowest independent as Togo Hisada has just gone into 7th place. Japanese driver just over a 2-minute 10 lap time this time round. And I tell you, it's mighty, mighty close once again, isn't it, Ed? Over 2-minute lap time, only 1.5 seconds really between the field. It's pretty crazy.
Yes, it certainly is. It's actually, I think, one of the longest circuits we go to in this season, isn't it, Chaz? In terms of just lap length. So it's limited to time, these races, but I mean, we'll see probably a fair fewer laps than what we saw last time at Brands Hatch. Got Alpha Henriksen, who's currently at the tail end of the field in qualifying. In a great place to try and gain some more momentum, though. Got his teammate just up ahead of him as well. Stuart Clark, the other dodgy MOT driver, up there with him. In fact, I think our dodgy MOT the only team here tonight with both of their drivers. No, we've got Carl Ridley and Stephen Burns, Team Jane Fonda, both of their drivers present. And actually Nodaphone, Sam Van Alsten, John Bailiff present. So, talk and twaddle, as usual.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a few, isn't there? I'm sorry about the flickering, by the way. I'm just editing something on here. But yeah, there's a few teams with the full complement here tonight, which is nice to see. So at least there's a few drivers that aren't sat on their own. I mean, we have the likes of Ben Bennyworth, who is a solo driver in the championship. He's unable to make it here tonight. No such sign of Naveed Hussein or even James as well. James Holman signed up to the championship. We don't see him here tonight. Morgan Burkhardt not around. Taylor Adams is unwell this evening, so we send him all our best and we hope he's okay. Andy Fox also unable to make it here tonight. So there's a few that aren't around. Jack Wells also not able to make it. I saw Aaron Smith had posted earlier in the Discord saying he's not around, unfortunately. He got running some errands and time got away from him basically, which is a huge shame. But more points for everybody else, I suppose, isn't it, Ed? At the end of the day, these guys get points all the way down to 15th position, so as long as you're here, you're going to score points.
Yeah, definitely. It's really going to benefit all of the drivers here tonight, even if they have necessarily a tough evening. They're still going to be gaining on the drivers that weren't able to attend, so there's going to be, hopefully, a lot of good battles. The drivers fighting tooth and nail for the points. No, the risk isn't really going to be that great if it goes a bit wrong. 2 minutes remain, or the best part of 2 minutes remain, as we have Jake Cranstone and Carl Ridley still in the pits. Our two fastest drivers seemingly not coming out for any more laps, so that means the focus will inevitably shift to the drivers behind them, Patrick Dopart and Sam Van Alst, looking to chase down their gap of around about 0.2 of a second to our pole sitter Jake Cranstone. And sleep and the drivers come across the line. I think Patrick Dopart's just about to get up to the line. In fact, this is going to be Patrick's last attempt at a lap. He won't have a time for any more. Same with Sam Van Alst. Patrick improved in the first sector on his previous lap time, but not in the middle. We'll need to pull something out really strong out of this final corner.
Looked smooth, but he's... I thought he was going in the pits for a moment then.
Looked like he was just losing a little bit of ground on the exit to Van Alst. It was just ahead of him. We'll see though when he gets up to the line if it'll be enough. It doesn't look like it, unfortunately, for Dopart. Van Alst as well, having to settle for third and fourth at the moment. The car behind him as well. I think that was Manintveld, I believe, who is also just completed a lap, will stay sixth. These are going to be the last two drivers looking to improve on their time. Ferran Grau and Togo Hisada, the lead of this pair. Japanese driver looking to see if he can find a little bit extra, just a 1/10 of a second would put him up into 6th place. So it was over the line, no improvements in any of the sectors, and yeah, that's not a quick lap, unfortunately, for Hisada, and that is basically now qualifying done and dusted. The rest of the session is just a formality. When it gets to 0, the session will be ended abruptly, and we'll get ready for the grid and the race to come.
We absolutely will. Just testing something myself at this end here, and it's definitely something wrong with OBS that is causing the slight stutter. Some of you may not notice it, but if we go on board like this, for example, you can see that you can tell the frame rate isn't at its best. It just seems to, not be really, I don't know, capturing everything as smoothly as it can. It's something that I've got to dial in, though. At the end of the day, I've only had the PC completed since Monday, and, well, even this afternoon, actually, I was making fixes to it, so it will be something that gets fixed. I do apologise. That'll be the last you hear of it. Jake Cranstone, he will start on pole position once again with Kyle Ridley alongside him on the front row. Then it's Patrick Dopart in third, hoping to get some big points here because he's definitely got the pace for them. Then it's Sam Van Olst starting fourth on the grid. Ferran Grau will start in fifth position, lead independent ahead of Eric Manintveld and Togo Hisada, 2 more independents to fight with him on that top few, well, on the first few rows, I should say. Stephen Burns, car 8, is P8. He's got John Bailiff and Donny Alpha Henriksen behind on the 5th row. Then it's JB Masida in 11th, ahead of Stuart Clark in 12th. And done dirty by the overlay there is Duncan Murray in 13th spot. A lot of work to be done from further down the order, to be fair, Ed, but not a big grid to get away from here. You have to have your wits about you.
Yes, it does, but also a great thing about the grid being the size that it is means that for, well, the first times this season, we're going to have nearly a full reverse grid. Only 3 drivers will miss out on the reverse grid order, and that could throw some big surprises in the second race of the evening. But we've got, well, the sprint race, sort of not really sprint, it's 20 minutes for these drivers to contend with. Who's your eye going to be on, Chaz, for the start? Obviously, Jake Cranstone, we know, has done a very good job so far this season from these positions. Do you reckon he can replicate that tonight?
I'm worried about Donny Alpha Henriksen having his wheel fully to the left here. Just noticed that he is, on my screen anyway, full lock left.
Yeah, same here.
I don't think he realises that he is. Either that or he's got an issue that he needs to fix. We'll see. I think I want to keep my eye on Patrick Dopart, to be honest, in the silver and blue number 5 Ericsson Hittles machine. Patrick is always fast and always up there. Let's find out then, shall we? As round number 7 of Season 4 of the British Boring Car Championship, sponsored by Derbyshire Holiday Homes, Abruzzi Racewear, gets underway. And Orris Digital as well. Sorry, I was worried I was going to get caught out there, boys. Away they go, nice and tidy off the line from just about everyone. There's a couple of places changed as Togo Hisada has dropped a bit of ground. He's not got a fantastic getaway, but in the middle of the field it all goes single file straight off the bat. Stephen Burns keeping everybody on his nose at the moment. Ferran Grau leading the independents. Oh, sorry, he's not actually. It's Manintveld that's had a belter of a start. He's gotten ahead of Ferran Grau. Nice and tidy through the hairpin for the first time. Very drama-free stuff, and considering how boring cars normally is, Ed, that was weird.
That was actually quite surprising to see, but, well, fair play. They are obviously aware that there's some drivers missing, and they want to be a bit more careful about it, not throw away a great opportunity to make some gains in the championship. Jake Cranstone leads the field through Agostini for the first time up towards Hamilton. They go with Ridley and Dopart close behind. Sam Van Olst looking to try and fend off Manintveld. And then behind we've got obviously the Donny Alpha Henriksen fight. Togo Hisada in the wings, as he's going to have to worry a little bit about the attack from Duncan Murray, but it was more of a little look to unsettle Togo more than anything else, and Togo seemed to be, well, unfazed by it and carries on. But for now it is Cranstone from Ridley from Dopart, and Cranstone's actually just trying to break away a little bit at the head of the field.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, Togo's actually lost 4 places from where he started, so he's had a really poor start to this race. Not the first start he would have wanted. Don't forget we have the 20-minute sprint race, which is Heat 1 on here, as it will show in the top left of your screen, and then we have the 25-minute feature race a little bit later with the top 10 on the grid reversed. So most of the field will get flipped around here for the second race of the night. And that's going to be mighty spicy indeed. Leading the independents at the moment is Eric Manintveld in the thick of all of this action. He's got Sam Van Olst right in front of him, then Patrick Dopart just ahead. then Kyle Ridley and Jake Cranstone, who leads this race. Busy stuff though to get us started, but not a huge amount of position changes. Like you say, Ed, I think they know that there's a lot of people that will be missing here tonight, and there's a lot more opportunities for points as long as you just finish. So, I mean, the guys are now getting in amongst it, aren't they? Sam Van Olst having a go at Patrick Dopart, but he doesn't want to really hang around behind Kyle Ridley. None of them want to fight too hard, though, because otherwise Jake Cranstone's just going to get away.
Yes, I think that's something they all are quite conscious of, is the fact that Jake Cranstone has that capability to just disappear off into the sunset. Can't afford to squabble too much. In the same breath, if you just sit behind all race, you're not going to be able to get any benefit. You're just going to have to settle for second best, and that's not what these drivers want to do. Is look at that diving up the inside. Sam Van Os makes contact actually with Dopart, and they managed to somehow sort themselves out. I thought Sam Van Os was actually going to lose out to Maniveld, who came charging through and had some great momentum, but it seemed like Eric saw that there could have been some danger up ahead if they went side by side through Hamilton, and probably decided to call it a day there and try and fight another time.
Yeah, it was a strange one, that, wasn't it? He was just taking his time, and then all of a sudden threw it up the inside and just had a massive go at him. So, really strange. Really strange. But luckily, Dopart is able to continue on, fight another day, because, well, he had quite a hit in the left rear there with that bit of contact, but he's all right for the meantime. And I mean, he's holding on to third place. The only drivers that are where they started are the top four, and Donny Alfa Henriksen down in 10th position. So there's a few of these guys that have all made a move here and there, but not a humongous amount of movement. It's almost like we've had the week off and they've sort of gone, right, we need to chill out a little bit now, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, some of the drivers, they might have been having a busy week. It's been obviously the heat of the summer. Everyone's busy. Maybe they are just deciding to, have a nice chill little Sunday drive on a Wednesday evening. Go nice and steady with it, at least for now. I say that. Well, Ridley's not being steady. He's just at the first lap of the race, closing down a tenth of a second to our race leader, Jake Cranstone. Slowly piling the pressure on, making sure he got his first laps out of the way unscathed, held on to that second place, and now, well, as Jake Cranstone runs a little bit wide of the mark, actually through the Wilson hairpin. Could be a sign that Ridley is starting to get to the championship leader just a little bit.
Yeah, it does look like it, doesn't it? Bit of a moment for Jake Cranstone there. He's usually absolutely, well, we can't fault him ever. We never fault Jake, to be honest. He's good in just about everything that we ever commentate on him in. We'll see just what the story is when he continues to lead this race with not much of a gap back to Kyle Ridley. Kyle all over the back of him, but he's not really overdoing it right now, is Kyle, is he? This is the thing. He could very easily overdo this and go a little bit too hard.
Yeah, and I think it's very important is to have that measured approach at the start of the race. You can obviously then try and go for the big bold moves later on. You can actually see just down the straight how much Ridley is gaining and could easily go for a move up the inside, but I think realizes that maybe it's best to sit behind for now and actually go for the assault at the very end of the race when there's, well, fewer and fewer opportunities for Cranstone to fight back and to see if he can reclaim it. So really being a little bit smart about it for now, sizing him up, seeing where Jake is weakest and going from there, I would imagine at least. It's both of these drivers trying a little bit of gamesmanship, trying to be smart with it. A little touch of the grass actually to help rotate the car from the both of them. That's an interesting line. We don't see many of the other drivers do it across the field, do we? But that's probably what's setting them apart, is just out of that final sector. However, Dopart's had a brilliant run and he could fancy a little bit of a look to the inside. Is he going to go for it? It's not really a heavy braking zone, but you can still try and make a move up the inside and force it too wide as you go in towards the Wilson hairpin, which he does. Got the run off the corner though. No, he doesn't, and Ridley lives to fight another day, but that was very close from Dopart. Lovely little attempt at a move there. Might see if he can pull it off in a lap's time.
The whole field still so close together. Unfortunately, Stuart Clark has had a drama a bit further back, and he's been off the road. Not quite sure where that happened actually, but he lost a place to Duncan Murray. I think Duncan got past Stewart and then Stewart and off here. I think it was very early on in the race actually. Let's have a look. No, not sure. There has been a move though, as Patrick Dopart goes down the inside of Kyle Ridley, door to door as they go through the left-hander at Hamilton, and now Van Olst looks down the inside of the pair of them. He tries a move instead. All this is just going to help Jake Cranstone. There's a bit of contact there between Dopart and Ridley. Dopart is actually losing out here, and Maninfeld is now going to go through on the right-hand side. I wouldn't be surprised if Dopart ends up with a slowdown penalty as a result of that, you know, Ed. He was way off the road.
Yeah, it didn't look necessarily great, and he is dropping back a little bit as Dopart finds himself down 5th place, in behind Burns, could be 6th. They go side by side through Brundle and Nelson. I think Patrick just about holds on to that 5th place, but so yeah, could have been very bad. Maybe just got away with the slowdown, I think.
Yeah, I think he did as well. Only just, like you say. Incredible stuff, though, that they all battle so closely together and keep it nice and tidy. Just waiting to see now who's going to survive, because we've seen contact in the championship before when things get a little bit heated. Just look at this though, all the way back here. Duncan Murray, he's running in 12th position, but he's got everybody just piled in a queue in front of him.
Yeah, they're all going for it as Duncan has got a great view of them all. Basically one long train, isn't it, from the lead. Reyes, look at that, going 2 wide, 3 wide up in front. This is where all the battling is. Look at that dive up the inside through the hairpin. Is he going to pull the move off on Hisada? As further up in front, you've got JB Masida, Frenchman, door to door, around the outside, and quite able to get it work on John Bailiff. But, well, there's a little bit of afters actually, isn't there, as they come out of the corner.
Gives him a right elbow.
Now, inside line for Bailiff. You imagine he's going to get that down. He goes too deep though, and look at the move up the inside from Alpha Henriksen. Oh, careful, boys.
JB Masida cuts his nose off. Wow. Very busy stuff.
Yeah, scary stuff. They go side by side, and then after all of that, they stay as they were.
Duncan Murray just headbutted the back of Togo Hisada's car as well. But still at the front, Jake Cranstone. He's leading the way, and he's got a decent advantage over the rest of these guys, so he'll be really, really pleased with that. It's not really hurting him at all, is it? He's having a great old run of things. Patrick Dopart at the moment. Ooh, careful, don't drive off the road, son. He swoops into action behind Eric Manintveld, but yeah, he had an attack earlier on and then lost a position as a result, which is exactly the worst thing to potentially happen when you're trying to make up ground and lose it. Hoping for Patrick that that is not the end of his race and the end of his championship charge, because he's certainly a driver with the capability to be a championship contender throughout the entire season. Seems like things are a little bit smoother now, by the way, although I say that and then they're not. But I said I wasn't going to talk about it. So Kyle Ridley, he's the one under pressure here because he needs to push forward now to go chasing after Jake, doesn't he? But it's not easy to do that when you've got all these lunatics piling in behind you.
Oh, so many lunatics. The whole grid's full of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's still, it's going to be tricky for all of the drivers, really. It's still tricky for Jake Cranstone because he knows there's one small mistake and he's right back in the fight. You might have nearly a second advantage, but in these Jettas, the way the slipstream works is that can get eaten into in a couple of laps. It could be nose to tail as long as no one's going to be harassing and threatening Kyle Ridley. Look at how much of the exit curb they can take through Palmer's there. Just really kind of momentum all the speed in towards hard corner Agostini to get the braking point right. That's not really the easiest way to pick it and spot it. It's also slightly downhill. It's deceptive because, well, the circuit is very flat. You don't necessarily see all of those elevation changes. Ridley doing all he can to manage the gap in front, while also being very well acutely aware of the charging Sam Van Alstyne behind.
Well, certainly enjoying the action once again here from the British Boring Car Championship. Again, a quick shout out to the championship sponsors, Derbyshire Holiday Homes, Orris Digital and Abruzzi. Huge thanks for your support once again for another season here on Chaz Draycott Media, the final season of the British Boring Car Championship. Unfortunately, numbers in the last few weeks have dwindled a little bit with drivers being busy with other things, but it hasn't affected the racing. We've had some great battles all the same, as look at this, JB Masida down the inside of Togo Hisada. Masida Hisada, and through he goes. Or does he? Well, he's going to be on the inside now for the long, sweeping right-hander into the last corner. And he's got it done. Togo Hisada having a bit of a tough time here, isn't he, Ed?
I think it's more of a trial by fire, isn't it? His first race here at Snetterton in the boring cars, and just getting swallowed up a little bit by the field. Trying very hard though to try and get back, and he's not. He's only needs to get one more position, and then he's in line for the pole position. I'm sure I'll be very, very happy with. Set him up for a great result in the second race, but first he does need to get ahead of JB Masida. So I thought for a moment going to have a little look up the inside of Alfa Henriksen. Decided not to, but definitely a little bit of a sniff up the inside, wasn't there, Chaz?
Yeah, a little one. Just a quick check, but yeah, these guys having a good old ding-dong to say the least, and it seems like we might get a ding-dong at the front as well, because Jake Cranstone is no longer 1.2 seconds clear at the front. He is only 0.6 ahead of these guys just behind, so he needs to start watching his mirrors here, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be getting closer and closer by the moment, and you can't afford to be too comfortable. You never can really in these Jettas. Like we were mentioning, the slipstream's so strong in these things. It does mean that if you aren't, 2 seconds clear up the road and out of the slipstream range, you are going to get your lead, your advantage, just eaten into lap upon lap if anyone's got similar pace to you, which, well, already certainly has that in buckets his pace. Now, though, favourite section of the circuit, the Brundle-Nelson hairpin, you chuck the car in, try and hug nice and tight to open out the right-hander. It's all about the long run down. A little bit wide there for Jake Cranstone, but carries momentum out of the corner. Flat through the bomb hole. Ridley definitely getting a lot more pressure from behind, actually. Sam Van Alstyne is certainly a lot closer in this lap than he was on the previous time around as well.
Yeah, definitely. He's well in touch here. And all of this could lead to Patrick Dopart going through as well, which is quite interesting. You never know what's going to happen. All these guys do have quite a lot of experience racing one another. And I'm sure that they would like to make sure that they all stay on the road at least. Keep it nice and tidy. But right now, Jake Cranstone is in a good position to take a win here, as this is the rabble further back. Donny Alfa Henriksen and John Bailiff side by side, kissing one another on the exit yet again. Masida commits to the inside. Murray commits to the outside. Hisada doesn't know where to go. Welcome to the championship, Togo. Donny Alfa Henriksen runs a little bit wide. Now as John Bailiff all over the back of him. JB Masida's in there. Duncan Murray is going to have a front row seat of this if it all goes Pete Tong. Bailiff hasn't quite had the pace or performance that we've seen him have before, has he? As Masida squeezes on by, thank you very much, he says. He's just not quite been as on it as we've seen before as John Bailiff.
I'm not sure if he's just not gelling with the circuit or if there's something else going on. Maybe he's just a little bit off the boil today, but yeah, you're alright. I'm not seeing the same John Bailiff that I've seen on, all of the other rounds of the championship thus far. Not been quite with it. Look at this though, Duncan Murray, a lovely darting move up the inside. He's going to try and keep it side by side all the way through now. Williams. Well, they're going side by side up in front as well, 2 by 2. John Bailiff. And now for Henriksen. Wheel to wheel side by side. Alfa Henriksen with a great run out of the corner. And this Bentley straight should have the advantage in towards Brundle and then Nelson afterwards, which he will do. They're all going to try and sort themselves out. Oh, there's a little bit of phasing through each other there.
Yeah.
There's also more afters. Look at John Bailiff, he's trying his best. JB Masida all the way around the outside. Great bravery. It's going to be tricky though, isn't it, to keep it all the way through Coram. And then Murray's got to keep it going though, isn't he? That's impressive.
Yeah, that's really impressive. All the way around the outside, the whole way around the corner. Great work. Really solid work that by JB Masida. Fantastic fun battle that they're having out there on circuit. Just 2.5 minutes left to go. Jake Cranstone still leads here at Snetterton in the British Boring Car Championship. Kyle Ridley and Sam Van Olst are battling over second position. It's all the red windscreen banners that are glued together here. Manintveld leading in the Independents at the moment. Don't forget the Independents have their own scoring system basically. So they only get 10, 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. Or it's 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 I should say in their points. So regardless of where they finish in the overall order, they have a very small, tight point system between their own rivals. So Manintveld finishing just in front of Grau in this one will only mean 2 points in his favour in that direction. So it's going to be really, really close. Manintveld was 5 points ahead of Taylor Adams just a few rounds ago. And it's going to be hard for him to even overcome that in just one race here, even if Taylor Adams is not here. So it's mighty fine stuff. Duncan Murray has just had a bit of a slowdown, I think. Togo Hissard has just gone through and then gone deep, so now Duncan's going to get the position back. Oh, hello. Have one of them, mate. Oh, dear. Let's have a look at what happened when Togo went through. Whoa. Everybody's off the road.
Deciding to do a little bit of rallycross again.
Oh!
Dear me.
Have one of those.
I will say actually, grass tractor racing is pretty popular here, but I'm not sure it's necessarily the venue for it. At least not necessarily the time. Here, Kyle Ridley, ahead of Sam Van Olst, and I think he's probably going to have to set off for second place because that lead from Cranstone is just... It's unassailable right now. 1.2 seconds with 1 lap remaining. The white flag will be waved and it'll be a relatively comfortable victory for Cranstone. And he's probably going to start thinking about the second race and what he's going to have to do from 10th place.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be loving life at the front at the moment, is Cranstone. He's just doing what he does best, and that is, well, driving away from the rest of the pack, to be honest. He's got fantastic pace in this car, great consistency. I'm just wondering what Patrick Dopart's going to do here on this final lap of the race. He's right up behind these other guys. He lost a place from earlier. He's lost 2 places from where he started. Nobody in the field has gained more than 2 positions, actually. There's 5 drivers that have done that. Eric Maninveld's gained 2. Stephen Burns has gained 2. Donny Alfa Henriksen and JB Masida have both gained 2. Duncan Murray, Togo Hissada, unfortunately, in his first ever race in the British Boring Car Championship, having a bit of a tough time, having lost 5 places as down the inside goes Dopart. There's the move. Manintveld ended up on the right-hand side of Sam Van Olst, and that's opened him up to attack here. And now it's looking like he's able to get down the inside. No. Manintveld ran wide over the grass. They've sorted it all out. Very busy stuff between all of them there. But it looks like Maninveld's going to hang on. What about Stephen Burns now in the mix?
Closing in, isn't he? They're trying to see if there's any late gains now as they make their way down the Medley Straight under the bridge. Darting to the inside to try and defend actually up ahead. Well, that was actually more of an attack from Van Olst. Look at this late lunge up the inside from Dopart. He's going to try and unsettle Manintveld, but in doing so unsettles himself, but was lucky that Stephen Burns didn't get a good run, actually slowed down a lot to avoid contact. I think if Stephen Burns carried that momentum through, he could have gained a late position, but right now it's nose to tail pushing Kyle Ridley through the corner is Sam Van Olst, but one more wants to go. He's going to be too far back to try any move up the inside through Murray's, but enough of that. And what a race and what a drive it has been from Jake Cranstone. It's, I think, one of the more dominant races we've seen so far this season from any driver.
Jake Cranstone wins round number 7 of the British Boring Car Championship. Kyle Ridley second, Sam Van Alst third. Eric Manintveld wins the Independents in this one. I need to check actually how many independent wins he's got this season, because I don't think it's many, to be fair to him. And in the background, the battle is over between JB Masida, John Bailiff, Duncan Murray. Togo Hisada had a very tough first ever race in the championship. The guys have decided to go everywhere. Eds. Oh my word. It's one of the funniest things of the night. We always see it and we always love it. It's good fun here in the British Boring Car Championship, and we'll show you the results of race number 1. Jake Cranstone wins with Kyle Ridley in second place, Sam Van Alst in third. Eric Manintveld finishes in fourth place and takes a win in the Independents, and that is his first independent win of the season. Well done to Eric. Patrick Dopart fifth ahead of Stephen Burns. Ferran Grau gets his best result in the Independents this season as well, ahead of Donny Alpha Henriksen, who I think that might be his best. No, actually had a fourth place back in round 4 at Silverstone. JB Masida ninth, John Bailiff in 10th position. That is not his worst result. He was 13th at Brands after an incident. Duncan Murray finishes 11th ahead of Togo Hisada with his first run of the season. Stuart Clark 13th. Important for Bailiff though, that one, Ed, because that means he'll be on reverse grid pole position.
Yes, very important indeed, and that could have some big ramifications, couldn't it, for the remainder of the night. We'll see, of course, if he can make good on that. I think we do need to have a little bit of a rest, get myself... Well, I definitely need to go pop myself into the kitchen, get myself a drink.
Yep. Same
So
here.
that is been a very good start to the night.
Nice and clean. Good stuff. We'll be back in a few minutes, everybody. We'll catch you for round number 8 of the British Boring Car Championship. Hello again, everybody. Chaz Draycott and Ed May here for the British Boring Car Championship, sponsored by Derbyshire Holiday Homes, Orris Digital, and, of course, Abruzzi. We're here at Snetterton for round number 7 and 8 of Season 4 of the Championship. And Ed, after we've had a very interesting first race of the night, we now have a little bit of a break here during the warm-up session for the drivers to have a bit of fun. And it certainly looks like Sam Van Olst was having a bit of fun there, didn't it?
Yes, yeah, it definitely was a very, very good race by Jake Cranstow. I mentioned Sam Van Olst, a great fight. Now, though, we will have to sit back and wait for this session to relax, chill for a little bit, decompress after well, it was quite an intense sort of closing 2 minutes, wasn't it? It sort of burst into life for that fight in behind Jake Cranstow in the car, Ridley, Sam Van Olst to fight. Patrick Dopart got in the mix as well. All the way there was that battle as well for that final reverse grid position. John Bailiff, I believe, ended up taking that honour in the end.
Yes, he did.
We'll start the second race from pole position. We've seen drivers do very well, haven't we, from these reverse grids? Not at least Duncan Murray, who comes out seemingly almost always on top in these scenarios, doesn't he? His first race victory of the season at Silverstone. If it was round 4 of the championship, where he was able to get out in front, break away.
Yeah, it's good to see that drivers can take advantage of that, though. I like that about it. You know, that's the reason that the format was done as such. You know, and that's why it works. I guess is that you have these sort of drivers that can benefit from stuff like that sometimes and get away with it. As Stuart, oh no, Stuart Clark completely sideways. Massive moment as he goes around there and off the road. Look at this. Sends it in. Backhand gets away. It's going to flick the other way beautifully, but over the curb. Oh, it's a scary old moment, to say the least. Fantastic fun, though, all the same. And with just over a minute left of warm-up, I'm not really sure who to keep my eye on in this next one, you know, Ed, because, well, it's so close between all of these guys here. All it's going to take is one little bit of misjudgment, and the whole thing could go to pot.
Yes, so Jake might be a bit cautious on this opening lap. He won the first race, doesn't want to have all of that good work in the first race be undone by a little mistake here in the second. 25 minutes as opposed to the 20 that we just had, so a little bit longer for the drivers to contend with, a bit more time for moves to be made for further down the field to make those positions. But I think it's going to be a much more intense second race. The drivers don't really have to worry about that reverse grid and being out and having a complete ruined evening. They can only now have a ruined race, which I guess is, well, it's like choosing which foot you want to cut off.
Yeah.
Really, in an ideal world, neither. But sometimes it's, you know, you don't get the option. No,
you don't. It's one of those things for these drivers, unfortunately, that they have to sometimes take a compromise, but you know it's never straightforward in the British Boring Car Championship, and we certainly look forward to seeing what the drivers make of this second race of the night. Let's have a look at the grid then, shall we, for round number 8. John Bailiff, pole position with JB Mesida alongside him. Then it's Donny Alfa Henriksen and Ferran Grau with Stephen Burns and Patrick Dopart on row 3. Eric Malentveld and Sam Van Olst are 7th and 8th ahead of Kyle Ridley and Jake Cranstow. Then it's Duncan Murray, Togo Hisada and Stuart Clark starting at the back of the grid for this one. Once again, we are waiting for Sam Van Olst to make his way to the grid. Go on board with Jake Cranstow here, and you'll see that there is a car missing directly in front of us, which should pop in just a moment, and then we will get the 8th race. Bop, there he is, underway for this season. So let's go to the front and focus on John Bailiff. He finished 10th in that earlier race, and he's going to be hoping now to take a race victory in the British Boring Car Championship. They are away, and it looks like a really good start for JB Mesida, actually. A fantastic run off the line. Donny Alfa Henriksen not doing too badly, but Ferran Grau has done better than him, so he's alongside as they head down into turn 1. Ferengrau around the outside. Stephen Burns trying to hold the inside line. It all looks nice and tidy from everybody. As Sam van Olstad was moving over to the right. Eric Maninveld now on the inside says, get out there, Sam. Cranstone, as you mentioned, Ed, he wants to take this nice and tidy. He's had to back out of that there and make that compromise we were talking about earlier on. Donny Alfa Henriksen is at the front of this queue, and, well, he's got just about everyone piling in behind him now, and he's going to have to keep an eye on his mirrors as Dopart and Burns rub panels.
It's a bit intense out there right now for Donny Alfa Henriksen. He's got Grau really piling all sorts of pressure on him. Out in front though, nice clean getaway from John Bailiff and JB Masida, which is exactly what they want to do. Letting all the battling happen in front so they can break away. Ridley, Jake Cranstone battling away with one another. Jake trying to fight his way all the way around the outside. He's going to be able to carry a lot of momentum by doing this, but look at the speed taken into the corner by Kyle. He's going to compromise his exit slightly, but he's going to be getting a bit more of a slipstream. No, he isn't, because they're side by side up in front of Cranstone. He's going to break away, and he's getting a huge helping from all of the drivers on the left-hand side of the circuit. Is he going to be able to make that move on Kyle Ridley? Continue going side by side. They merge through one another.
Oh no, Hissada's off.
Doors, banging panels. Hissada's off the road. Rejoins just about safely. Duncan Murray's in the wall. It's all kicking off.
John Bailiff still leads as well. John Bailiff at the front, ahead of JB Masida, and then Donny Alfa Henriksen and Ferran Grau. These guys at the front will be wondering what on earth those lot back there are all doing. But there's big battles going on in the mid-pack. But it was unfortunately Togo Hissada and Duncan Murray that have both ended up off the road. Duncan there just in front. Togo's got his nose down the inside. Hopefully Duncan doesn't move over to the right here. Oh, there's a tiny clip on the way in. Togo off in a straight line. Duncan sideways. He gets hit by Stuart Clark as well. Oh, dearie me, gents. It all got a little bit scrappy down there. But I don't think there was anybody particularly at fault there. It's just one of those things. We see cars magnetised towards each other down there quite a lot. Someone I've got my eye on here, though, Ed, is Patrick Dopart once again, actually. He had a bit of a nightmare in that first race, trying to get position after position and then lost more and more ground every single time. But right now, well, he's in a great spot here to get in front of these guys, isn't he? I mean, he's away from Jake Cranstone by a couple of positions. He's got a few of the independents in front of him. Not that they'll want to back out as a result of any fighting, but yeah, I think he's looking good right now. As there's the move for the lead.
Here we go. Ooh, careful. Side by side in towards Hamilton they go. Bailiff just with his nose ahead of Masida, but Masida with that amazing run of pace around the outside. He's going to go for these. It's these reverse grids that JB Masida just comes alive in.
Absolutely, he is. Oh, he nearly died then as he went across the front of John Bailiff's car. Look at Dopart here now. Ferran Grau has tried to find a gap. Oh, there wasn't one on Donny Alfa Henriksen, and now Dopart's trying to find the gap on Ferran Grau. Right together then as they head down towards the wonderful Brundle and Nelson complex once again. Around the outside goes Dopart, holds onto it, has the inside line for the corner. Lovely job. What about Van Olst? Can he get a run on Grau? Nothing this time. He's a bit close to the back of the car, as you can see here. All over the clean diesel machine. Through the rear bumper we go. This is a bit of a better view for Sam van Olst. Down the inside. Oh, now there's a run. Down the inside indeed. Clinging it. Look at him holding on for dear life to this powerful Jetta. Oh, there's contact. He's sideways. He's over the curb. He manages to keep his foot in it, and he's made the corner. Fantastic stuff from Sam van Olst. That's true front-wheel drive touring car action, that, isn't it? Brilliant fun.
He's getting bump drafted along as well, so he's going to hold on to that position. I thought he was going to get swallowed up on the exit, but look at them all working together. Grau pushing Van Olst in towards Riches. They defend the inside, and
oh,
wow.
Cranstone. Cranstone's been elbowed in the face out wide. Ferran Grau. Whoa, Maninveld, where did he come from? He's like a cruise missile. Eric Maninveld enters shot from stage right, doing about Mach 3. Good God, what was that?
Crazy.
Sorry, this is what happened to Maninveld. Oh, he hits this curb, look. Whoa. Bang! That is a wild ride for Eric Maninveld. Goodness me. We're going to have a quick look here at what happened to Sam van Olst. Because I think he got ahead and then he got a hit from behind. Did Ferran Grau clip him? I think Ferran got a little bit of a nose in here. I think when he gets on the brakes, the car dives right. It does. And it just tips Sam into a spin. But Sam just keeps his foot in it. That is hilarious. We're going to stay with this, though, because what we're going to do is go on board with Jake Cranstone and see what he saw in all of this, because he was obviously right in the thick of it, hoping to stay well away from all the battles. You hear him lift off, but then, look, that tiny touch there into Ferran Grau's left rear is not the end of it. To be fair, considering how hard Eric Mannitveld hit him there, it didn't seem that bad from on board, did it?
I think it's because obviously these cars being front wheel drive, as long as you keep your foot flat to the floor, it takes a lot to unsettle them, even a hit to the rear, because it's all of the weight is at the front of the car. It will take quite a lot to sort of unsettle them. So an impact like that, while pretty strong, there's, well, nothing really to shift the balance and the weight of the car at the back.
Very true indeed. Donny Alfa Henriksen still looking for a podium position here. He's behind JB Mesida and John Bailiff. Patrick Dopart is the next one in that quartet. And then we've got the two Team Jane Fonda machines, as Duncan Murray and Togo Hisada have come to blows once again here. They have unfortunately had another drama down towards... Oh, there was even more drama earlier on. These two were overtaking each other. Togo and Duncan Murray went past each other. Let's have a look. So Togo's on the outside here. This is going to show us exactly what happened. Togo's gone a little bit deep into there. Oh, he bounced off the curb. Bounced into the side of Duncan Murray. Eric Mannitveld goes through. Duncan sees a gap down the inside. Says, go on then, I'll have that. And I think, is one going to turn in as if the other's not there? No. Oh, they just got glued together. And whoa, all of a sudden, thrown around. And luckily, neither of them end up in the wall. But that was busy stuff back there. Flipping heck, they're having a right old scrap.
They're having an absolute ding-dong battle. Meanwhile, out in front, as he tends to do in these reverse grid, the second races of the evening, JB Mesida leads the way ahead of John Bailiff. Donny Alfa Henriksen as well, up there with him. This is the sort of John Bailiff we're used to seeing, isn't it? We were mentioning he seemed a little bit off character almost, didn't we? But now he's well back in the flow, fighting up in front for the lead of the race. They're obviously going to be conscious of the fact that closing in behind them, Jake Cranstone and Carl Ridley are picking up the pace.
Yeah, and to be fair, Dopart, oh, well, look at that. Gets a bit of a run there on Donny Alfa Henriksen. He wants a podium position right now, does Patrick Dopart. And he's got the pace for them as well. He's only had 2 podiums so far this season. He's had 3 finishes barely inside the top 10 as well. He's been 10th twice, and he had a non-point score actually at the second race at Donington at the start of the season, finishing in 16th place. Other than that, he had a 3rd and a 2nd around that in races 1 and 3. He's not been on the podium now for 4 races in a row, and he's definitely got the capability to do it. So it's a massive shame to see Dopart not scoring the podiums that he so richly deserves with the pace that he's got. I mean, we've seen this pace in previous seasons as well. He's always a front runner, as there's a change of position back here. Ferran Grau losing out to Sam van Olst. JB Mesida, though, still under attack from John Bailiff. Still trying everything he can to hold him off, and it's working. He's doing it.
I don't know if he'll be able to do it for the whole race. He's certainly doing it for now, but it's a lot more to keep it up for the remainder of this race. There's still a long, long way to go, isn't there? We'll have to have his work certainly cut out for him, and this will be, I think, the hardest he's had to fight for this race victory. Oftentimes he gets out in front in these reverse grids, then manages to break away because of all the battling behind. This time, though, he's going to have to really defend hard and keep that Nodaphone Jetta, well, as far away from him as humanly possible. But again, closing up through Oggies and then up towards Williams. It's getting ever so cagey out in front for JB Mesida.
Closer and closer all the time. Sounded like there was a bit of contact further back there. It's probably not these lot, actually. I think, to be fair, Patrick Dopart has hit the back of Donny Alfa Henriksen and given him a shove down this straight. will go on board with the not quite a Volvo. Good to see Jack Werrell in the chat. I hope you're doing well, Jack. It's been a while, my friend. Hope you're doing all good. Jack was at my local at Manchester Airport just last week with a wonderful looking setup. As there's a wonderful looking setup for Donny Alfa Henriksen. Bailiff and Mercedes now having a fight for this race lead. Through the bomb hole they go, nearly contact as they go round the right-hander. Mercedes just clips the grass, but he's still in front. Fantastic driving this by JB. He's had a race victory already this season and he's had no other podium positions, but he won in race 2 back at Silverstone. Really catapulted himself up there in the championship. He's 4th in the standings overall as well right now, but in the independents, funnily enough, he's 3rd behind Morgan Burkhardt and Taylor Adams. What's funny and shows you how the independent points work is that he's actually 2 places ahead of Taylor Adams in the overall championship, but he's behind him in the independents. Quite proud of myself for that.
That's quite interesting how that works out, isn't it? Very interesting. It's the beauty of a slightly different way that points are scored in this championship across the different championships. Coming towards the Wilson hairpin now, Patrick Dopa, he can see the podium places just up ahead of him, but he can't quite find the path just yet. There's no clear way through at this stage of the race. Halfway through now in the race, Polish driver as well can definitely see the figures of Cranstone and Ridley ever larger in his rearview mirrors.
You just read my mind there, Ed. I was just thinking, where's Cranstone in all of this? He did his personal best on that last lap, and it was a 2:10.2. And you know what? We've been broadcasting together for what, 4 or 5 years now on iRacing?
God, for that long? My God.
Yeah, a few years now, and I've been using the same timing software. I've only just realised what the green lap times mean when you click on a car. It's a reference to how much quicker they are than that. And there was only one car that was on a similar pace to Jake on that last lap, and it was Sam Van Alst. I can't believe I've only just realised that. Basically, everybody, on our timing screen, when you click a driver and you, obviously like this, and you switch to them, it shows you all the lap times that everybody's done, of course, all the time. But it changes the colour of all of those other lap times to either, on a scale of green to white to red, based on the driver you're looking at and how much quicker or slower they are than those other times. I've never noticed that, so now I click on Jake. Everybody's lap times except for Sam Van Alst's are green because they are much quicker than them.
I think to your credit, I believe that has been a recent change.
Oh, thank God for that.
They do update things on SDK. We use the same software, but not the same version. They do like to give updates pretty frequently as well. So I think that is, at least to me, that seems like a recent change.
I hope it is, otherwise I've made an idiot of myself. Still, at least we know what it does now. JB Mercedes knows what his Jetta does, and it's stay in front of John Bailiff's Jetta very well. He's good at that. John wobbles his way through the first corner. Dopart now trying to make a move, looking down the inside of Donny Alfa Henriksen. Is he going to commit? He is. Is Donny going to give him the room? Maybe. Sounded like something out of Looney Tunes, that, doesn't it? Donny Alfa Henriksen and Dopart still side by side. Dopart's going to have a good run around the outside here. Donny Alfa Henriksen needs to give him the room, and no, he says, have that.
Gonna start calling you Taz Draycott there.
Oh no!
Is now really trying to pull out all
Taz
the
Draycott mania.
Yeah, Taz Draycott mania is, look at this diving up the inside. A little bit of mania here on the circuit as Patrick goes for a late lunge. Well, backs out of it, I think, on the exit. Donny Alfa Henriksen, well, just about a Jetta's width, but no more. Doesn't want to afford Patrick Dopart more space than, well, he deserves.
Look who's
here.
Now,
look at this. Cranstone is certainly within the fight now for the lead of the race. He just needs to pick them off one by one, and that is easier said than done when they're all in their own little battles.
10 minutes to go, though. 10.5 minutes, and Jake Cranstone could very well win. Yeah, but we could win both races here. But, you know, that's to no discredit of the other drivers in front of him. But at the end of the day, Jake is a champion of the SRM GT4 Challenge. He's runner-up in Formula 1. He's runner-up in boring cars before, and you know that's with reason. It's the fact that Jake is savagely quick in every car we ever put him in, and he wants to make the point this season in the final season of the British Boring Car Championship and go on to win the thing. JB Mercedes wants to go on to win the thing as well, but that's not the championship as such. It's just this race. He wants to hold on in front of John Bailiff, who, to be fair to John, we've seen John in the past put up some pretty savage attacks and really send it down the inside, go a little bit late on the brakes and maybe overdo it sometimes. But here, right now, this has been a really respectful attack by John. This is great to see.
I think he's as well just conscious of the fact that first race didn't really go his way, and he's trying to make amends for it. Doesn't want to throw away a really strong points finish, and as a result is quite content to stay in second. Knows that it's all about the bigger picture in the championship for him. He's having these little looks here or there, but it's more just to try and unsettle the Frenchman up in front of him than actually to necessarily go for the moves. I say Jake Cranstone earlier needed to make a position lap if he wants to win the race. He's just made up one more. He's ahead of Patrick Dopart just by a nose as they make their way through Palmer.
Oh.
Tough on the exit, but look at the momentum he's going to carry now in towards Agostini. He's going to have his nose and I think the whole of the Jetta up in front, but there's going to be a fight back, isn't there? They can guarantee that from Dopart. As he's been able to make it stick on the exit, they'll probably continue to fight side by side up through Hamilton as yet again Cranstone with a great run out of the corner, carrying plenty of momentum.
Oh, no, he's too wide.
The position.
Yeah, too wide through there that time. He really did concede it. And Ridley now could actually help out Patrick Dopart quite a lot. If he has a go here at Jake Cranstone, it will help out the Polish driver quite a lot. He's having a look, but it's not doing him a huge amount of favours, is it, right now? As they go down the back straight once again, Ridley is just doing what he can to keep Cranstone right in front of him in the slipstream. They close in now. Look at the back end trying to break away on the Jetta. It's fantastic to see. Lovely stuff. But it's still not enough to get in front of Cranstone, unfortunately. Dopart will be a bit annoyed at that, but it is what it is. He's got to push on, continue racing. Now the whole top 9 drivers separated by just 4 seconds at the moment. There's a gap back then to the likes of Manitveld, Clark, Murray, and then Togo Hisado, who's had a very bruising first night in the British Boring Car Championship. Just to answer Jack Worrell's question, the new PC is absolutely fantastic, thank you, my friend. It now renders the Jetta in 61 FPS as opposed to 60 FPS. It's fantastic. Absolutely wonderful. But these guys don't care, they just want to put on a show. Donny Alfa Henriksen, the only driver that is currently where he started on the grid, actually. Started 3rd. JB Maceda has moved up 1 place. John Bailiff has, funnily enough, lost 1. Jake Cranstone has moved up 5. Kyle Ridley has gained 3. Patrick Dopart has gained 2. Stuart Clark has even gained 2 as well. Further down the order, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily not a solid drive. He's got a bit of damage on the car as well, so he's done that while being in the walls. What about John Bailiff here then, Ed? 2nd place for him at the moment. He's lost JB Maceda over this last lap or so. He was a lot slower than Alfa Henriksen, a lot slower than Van Olst. He's not really setting the timing screens alight now, and he's not really threatening JB for the lead.
I think he will catch up though. He's always seemed a lot stronger through Hamilton, through Oggy, through Williams than Maceda up in front, and then of course with the long Bentley straight he usually beats back into that advantage. We'll see coming up through here, but usually John Bailiff has got a lot of confidence to chuck the car into the corner and regain some of that lost ground. We'll see for now, but I think Maceda's really gotten into the rhythm as well. As looking at his lines just from his onboard from John Bailiff's point of view, and he's looking very comfortable, very confident and assured in himself, which is what he needs to do. Can't afford to second guess himself going into the corners. That's when you make the mistakes. That's how you can throw away potential race victory. For now, looking pretty good for the Frenchman to win yet another race in this championship. Again, the reverse is really working out well for JB Maceda. And what about Kyle Ridley? He's losing touch as well to Jake Cranstone, actually. He's just watching this fight happen up ahead of him. Not really an active participant, but then, as I say that, closes in massively through Murray's because they all check up one another.
I think he's had to back out on this lap somewhere because he was quicker than these guys by 0.3 of a second on that previous lap. So something somewhere has caused Kyle Ridley to really have to stamp on it to make sure it doesn't go in the back of one of them, I think. And that's where he's lost a bit of ground because, yeah, he was a good 0.3 slower on that last lap.
Well noted. Definitely must have been something not quite going to plan for Kyle Ridley. as well. There's plan being formulated here by Cranstone to go around all the way around the outside. Actually, is Cranstone going to lose out to Kyle Ridley on the exit? Not quite, but Kyle certainly closed up massively, and throughout all of that, they're still where they were beforehand. As I say that, Jake Cranstone has the inside line on Patrick Dopart. There's again afters on the exit of Farmers.
Ridley
Inside
backs
line
out.
this time.
Here comes
for
Van Olst.
Cranstone.
Van Olst wants a piece of it, and out of all of that, somehow Dopart went to defend from Cranstone, ended up making an attack on Alfa Henriksen by accident, and again Patrick Dopart loses out. He's the most unlucky driver I've ever seen go up against Jake Cranstone. He must absolutely, I mean, they get on, but he must absolutely hate Jake in a way, because every time Jake's around, he just loses places by accident. But that does mean now that Cranstone is up into 4th place. His championship lead is safe, and the race lead is safe when it comes to JB Mercedes. 0.8 of a second, 4 minutes to go. We're going to have 2 more laps here at Snetterton in the British Boring Car Championship. Thanks once again to our sponsors. Thanks to Derbyshire Holiday Homes. Thanks to Abruzzi and Orris Digital for their support of this rather fun series, to say the least. We hope you're all enjoying the show wherever you may be watching. You're watching Chaz Draycott Media with Chaz Draycott and Ed May, and Patrick Dopart off the road, losing more and more places. And he's still not come back on. He can't get it to come back on. Come on, son.
There you go, crank more lock on, there we go, back on the road we go.
Miserable
Patrick
stuff.
Dopart, yeah, we're doing, well, again, going to be getting an itemised bill from Mr. Palmer for the lawn maintenance. Bam, right over the curb at Nelson. So easily done if you just misjudge your turning point. Sort of, again, not really got the reference, you just need to feel it on the way through. Hope the car bites. If it bites too much, well, hit there, and that's put him over, must be put him over an incident limit. There he goes, driving through, not going to stop in a pit box. And that's going to put him down in 11th position.
Oh, poor
From
bloke.
what was a 4th place.
Yeah.
Yeah, not gone at all to plan for the Polish driver, unfortunately. However, driver that's definitely going to be happy with the way the race is going. Jake Cranstone now sees himself up in a podium place. He got ahead of Donny Alfa Henriksen. Let's see, Chaz, where he managed to make that pass.
Yeah, just going to find it here. He's going to get it done into the hairpin. Gets a lovely run out of the first corner. He's going to get his nose down the inside early here, I think. Just open that door. And yeah, Donny had to brake a little bit because of John Bailiff. Jake gets it stopped on the apex. That is so tidy. So tidy. But that's what we expect from Jake. It's what we see from him quite a lot. Really tidy, smooth moves like that. Kyle Ridley, he was not having the best championship up to now. I think didn't he just get a podium in the previous race? He did, didn't he? Because he was second in the previous race. That was his best result of the season, actually, with one other 3rd position in round 3 of the championship. He had a bit of a mixed bag at Silverstone, a 3rd and then a 14th. So not the best night there. Otherwise, he's been 6th 3 times and then 8th in the other races as Cranstone puts his nose down the inside of Bailiff. Bailiff says, not on your life. Donny Alfa Henriksen wants to get in on this as well. Cranstone's actually got a run on Bailiff there, but not putting his nose down the inside. I think he knows if they fight too hard here, JB Mercedes is going to be gone, and they will not be able to catch back up with him. The Frenchman not just leading the race, but leading the independents as well, of course. Doing a smashing job of it, isn't he, Ed? Great stuff.
Yeah, he really is just in his element right now and just has to guide it home for one more lap. John Bailiff is going to be sweating more about the assault from behind. As look at Cranstone, he's going for 2nd place. He's made up so many positions in such a short space of time, but it's going to be, well, just a little bit shy of making back-to-back victories as he dives. Does he get up the inside? No, actually, the fight around up the inside for John Bailiff is brilliant enough to keep him there. Side by side again through Wilson. I thought Cranstone was going to make it all the way through, but this fight is great. Just a little bit shy of the mark there, but hooks up the apex late, and that's going to get a brilliant run out of the corner for Bailiff. Cranstone once more has to continue fighting side by side, this time with the inside through Palmer's, but we've seen time and time again that outside line just allows you to carry so much more momentum on the run down towards Agostini. And basically door to door as they slam onto the brakes. We going to see Cranstone secure the position. He's going to try and muscle his way past Bailiff, and I think as they go through Hamilton, Cranstone's going to seal this position. I say that. It's not quite a foregone conclusion. There's going to be an overlap in towards Oggy's late on the race. Look at that from Bailiff. He's going to really hamper himself on the exit, though, and that, I think, is going to be the position seal for Cranstone. Yes, it is. Had to work really hard for that one. Bailiff put up a brilliant fight, but just unfortunately fell short right at the end there. Just didn't quite carry the momentum out of Oggy's to keep himself in front.
And here's the battle then into Brundle and Nelson for the final time here tonight in the British Boring Car Championship. We're on board with Stephen Burns as there's many a look and many a move. Ridley wants to go around the outside, then the inside of Sam Van Olst. Gives him a little bit of a nudge, but backs out of it. Doesn't want to gain the place like that. Stephen Burns look at the back of his teammate car and he says, maybe not. But in front of all of these guys, while they scrap away, it's worked out once again for JB Masida. The Frenchman rounds the final corner, and he's not just going to take the win in the independents in that race and gain himself a few points over the likes of Taylor Adams and Morgan Burkhardt. He's going to take the race victory, and that is his second win of the season. He becomes only the third driver to be a multiple winner. Well done, JB Masida. Jake Cranstone completes a great night in second place. John Bailiff is third. That, I think, is John's third podium of the season. Let's see where John's going. Oh, my goodness me. Oh, the way they all scooted through there was fantastic. Second in the independents, by the way, Ferran Grau. Eric Manintveld next up. Welcome to the British Boring Car Championship. Patrick Dopart will, he will certainly not be pleased with that one, to say the least. Togo Hisada had a very tough first night in the championship, and I think the body language of the car says just that. But Togo completes the top 12 with Duncan Murray limping home in 13th for a difficult night. But JB Masida, 2 race wins this season. There's only been 3 race winners all season, and, well, he's got 2 wins. There's no driver, actually, with just 1 win at the moment.
Very impressive there. JB Masida, look at him go. Really enjoying this moment. Out in front. Great victory. Sliding it through. But brilliant evening as well from Cranstone, as we said. A dominant race victory and then a late charge. Had to work hard, pick his moment, and then go for it to get first and a second from tonight. Big swing in the championship for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is the race result. JB Masida wins not just in the independents, but the overall race. Jake Cranstone second place with John Bailiff in third. Donny Alpha Henriksen was fourth ahead of Sam Van Olst with Kyle Ridley in sixth. Then it was Stephen Burns ahead of Ferran Grau second in the independents with Eric Manintveld third. Then it was Stuart Clark who completes the top 10. Patrick Dopart was 11th with Togo Hisada 12th, and Duncan Murray finishes the 13-car field. And a busy night is concluded with that one. Not too much in the way of overtakes or anything, actually, in that second race, to be fair, Ed, but you know what? The drivers still put on quite an interesting show, to say the least. We'll have a quick ask if they have time for an interview. I think a lot of them sit in the driver chat and wait for us to just drag them in from here, to be honest with you. Stephen Burns has said, see you all at Knockhill or Thruxton. JB Masida says no interview, sorry, because he doesn't have a microphone, bless him. But we do have a vote, actually, for the drivers, don't we, Ed, for next week?
Yes, we do. It is very exciting, isn't it, where we allow the drivers to basically have their say on the championship. I actually don't know if I own either of the 2 circuits that we're voting for.
I don't own Thruxton, I know that much.
Knockhill or Thruxton is going to be where we will host round 9 and 10 of the championship. We don't know, so we can't really looking forward to seeing you all at this venue, because we have to leave it up to, well, the motley crew in this Discord, and one of them has joined us for a quick chat, haven't they, Chaz?
Absolutely. Kyle Ridley, welcome to the booth, mate. First off, how was tonight for you? Seemed like it was a bit of a bit of a lottery, that one.
Oh, it wasn't too much a lottery. I had strong pace this morning and used it to get P2 and a P6. The field is just what it is. It's so tight to try and even make a move, you go one step forward, 6 steps back. But that's what we love about it. And yeah, able to at least go forward in race 1 and in race 2 and maintain my position in race 1 was a good effort, good night.
Yeah, it certainly looked like it. I know a lot of people don't really like Snetterton because it's very flat and it can be very boring, but for racing it can be really good because it's got quite a mixture of different elements to it, hasn't it?
Snetterton's a great track. I don't know why some tracks get so much hate and some tracks get so much praise. My opinions on tracks are so left-wing, I guess you would call it. I love this track. Like, I hate Spa, for example, but I love Snetterton, so it's one of those things where, yeah, if it put a track that could be flat and boring in a Jetta, you get quite a boring experience. But that's the thing, we're driving with 10 other cars, all bumper the fender, so it doesn't feel boring.
Yeah, absolutely. All so close together. We're nearing the halfway point of the season now, obviously with a vote for next week. Which track is it you'd prefer out of the two?
Well, one I have to buy, so I'm probably going to vote Knock Hill. If it's a Thruxton, yeah, Thruxton wins, then I guess I'm going to have to bank out the piggy bank.
Bless you. Well, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to thank yourself and Ed for the commentary. I'm sure it'll be a good watch when I get home. And thank the drivers and thank for everyone who's watching.
Cracking stuff. Always good to speak to you, Kyle. Cheers, mate. See you soon.
Thank you.
Kyle Ridley there, a fan of Snetterton but doesn't like Spa. Tell you, there's a mix.
That is a mix, but I'll tell you, he's a man after my own heart. He knows this is my home circuit. It's a very sentimental place for me. I love it more than I think is, well, understandable for most drivers. Again, it's a polarizing circuit, but for me, I absolutely love it. I wonder what this man thinks after his evening. He surely got me in love with it. Jake Cranstone joins us in the booth, Chaz.
Jake, first and second tonight. First and third tonight. Or was it second in the end? I can't remember. First and second. Jesus, imagine if I knew what I was doing. Not a bad night for you at all, is it, mate?
Yeah, can't complain. All good.
What do you think of Snetterton? Is it a circuit you enjoy? Is it a circuit you hate?
I don't enjoy it, but I have done it in real life, and it's much better in real life than it is on the sim.
Yeah. Is that down to the car though? What car were you driving? Was it a classic of sorts?
Yeah, it was the MGB in the wet.
Oh,
so
yeah. Not
that was good.
Not in a straight line at any point, I imagine. Not even down the Bentley Straight.
Yes. Yeah. So that was good fun. Yeah, it's just a bit flat and boring, really. But I can't complain with the results.
Yeah, absolutely. What about next week? What are you voting for?
Probably vote for Thruxton because I know Knock Hill will just be a train, so I think Thruxton will be a bit more exciting.
Thruxton for the content, eh? Anyone you'd like to give a quick shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to my mum and anyone else watching at home, Dave and Ali, I think, as well. And you guys for putting this on, all the drivers. It was good, clean racing tonight, so all good.
Cracking stuff. Always a pleasure, Jake. Thank you so much. Congrats on some brilliant results, and we'll see you next time round at Knock Hill or Thruxton.
Thanks, guys.
There we go, Jake Cranstone then. Unfortunately, the last driver in for an interview tonight, but still a very, I don't know, it was a bit of a flat night for boring cars, really. We still had some great battling, but it didn't feel like it really erupted like it has done before, but I don't know, I still think that's part of the staple of this championship, isn't it, really, Ed? The fact that it doesn't always have to be over the top, it can just be a good night.
Yeah, I think everyone getting back into the swing of things. The little week break we've had has sort of maybe changed the driver's approach, but we'll see if that's going to be the case at either Thruxton or Knock Hill in a week's time. We'll find out shortly. We'll obviously see what happens when we get to it, but I'm going to be looking forward to it all the same wherever we go in this brilliant championship.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure once again, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and Ed here tonight. Apologies for going on a little bit much about the frame rate issues earlier on, but seemed like we got them sorted in the end. Thanks once again to the championship sponsors, Derbyshire Holiday Homes, Abruzzi and Orris Digital, and thanks to all the drivers for putting on a fantastic show. We'll be back in a week's time where we'll head to either Thruxton or Knock Hill. Keep an eye on Chaz Draycott Media, and we'll see you then.
Has done enough to win the last round of the championship and to win the title all in one fell swoop.
British Touring Car Championship. Things are never chilled here. Honestly, the cars may be a bit dull, but wow, the racing certainly isn't.
Fastest lap of the race now, Ben Lambert.
Look at Andy Fox coming through the middle. He makes a little bit of contact. Dave Waldock is around and he's off on the grass.
Brayfield tries to go right round the outside of Druids. You do not do that and get away with it very often.
Takes the win in round 12. There's contact again. Fraser Smith and Dennis Melchett are off the circuit.